Okay, I'm ready to get started. Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Muy buenos días a todos. Esta es su comparecencia inicial ante el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court.
Mi nombre es Brad Gardner y yo soy un juez en este tribunal.
I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case.
Yo no estoy acá para tener un juicio en su caso o para aceptar una declaración a cargos.
I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you,
Yo estoy acá para informarle cuáles son los cargos que se le han imputado,
to advise you of certain rights,
para decirles cuáles son sus derechos,
to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail,
para otorgarle fianza en aquellos delitos que se me permite otorgarle fianza,
to schedule a preliminary hearing,
para programarle una audiencia preliminar
and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y para determinar si usted requiere la asistencia de un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio y no decir nada,
But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial.
pero si usted renuncia a este derecho, cualquier cosa que usted diga durante este proceso podría ser usado en su contra si su caso va a juicio.
So please don't discuss the facts of your case.
A que por favor no hable de cómo ocurrieron los hechos.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante este y todos los procesos siguientes, ustedes tienen los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence,
El derecho a la presunción de inocencia,
the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors,
el derecho de que se le formule una acusación por el jurado, por el gran jurado si es un delito grave o que se le formule una acusación si es un delito menor.
the right to a speedy and public trial by jury,
El derecho de tener un juicio público rápido y por jurado,
the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you,
el derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a todos los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra,
the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf,
el derecho de citar testigos para que testifiquen a su favor,
the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense,
el derecho de testificar a su favor o de presentar pruebas para ser usadas en su defensa,
the right to have an attorney represent you.
el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si usted no puede contratarse su propio abogado, uno se le podría nombrar si usted califica.
Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail.
Alguno de ustedes se le va a permitir que pague una fianza sin restricciones para que lo dejen salir de la cárcel.
These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property.
Estas fianzas pueden ser pagadas en efectivo, usando una compañía de fianzas o usando una propiedad.
If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees to the sheriff's in cash to the sheriff's office.
Si usted paga una fianza en efectivo, alguien tiene que llevar la cantidad total de su fianza, más las tarifas adicionales a la comisaría.
The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of the case.
La comisaría se quedaría con el dinero en efectivo y se lo reembolsaría al final de su caso.
If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service.
Si usted usa una compañía de fianzas, alguien va a tener que pagarle a esta compañía una tarifa por sus servicios.
The fee will not be returned.
Pero esta tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond.
Yo no sé cuál sería la tarifa que se le cobraría, pero generalmente está basado en un porcentaje de la fianza.
Finally, if you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond.
Finalmente, si usted usa una propiedad para pagar su fianza, la propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos un capital neto que sea 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza.
Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places.
Algunos de ustedes van a tener condiciones especiales en su fianza, donde se le prohíbe ponerse en contacto con ciertas personas o de que vayan a ciertos lugares.
This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form.
Y estas condiciones especiales se le van a dar a usted en un formulario por separado.
You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail.
A usted también se le va a prohibir que se ponga en contacto con la víctima mientras usted esté encarcelado.
If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial.
Si usted infringe la orden del juez, su fianza sería revocada y usted tendría que permanecer encarcelado hasta el final de su juicio.
You could also receive additional felony charges.
Y también se le podría imputar cargos adicionales por delitos graves.
It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person would not be allowed to post your bond.
Es importante que sepa que si alguien está nombrado como la víctima en su caso, a esa persona no se le va a permitir pagar la fianza por usted.
Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail.
Algunos de ustedes se le acusa de delitos por los cuales a este juez no se le permite por ley otorgarle una fianza.
In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date.
En ese caso, se va a programar una audiencia para pedir fianza ante un juez del Tribunal Superior del Condado de Clayton y a usted se le va a informar cuándo va a ser esa fecha.
If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time.
Si actualmente usted está bajo libertad condicional, a este juez no se le permite otorgarle una fianza en estos momentos.
Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest.
Si la fianza es apropiada en su caso, se consideraría nuevamente después que el agente de libertad condicional haya tenido la oportunidad de tomar en consideración este nuevo arresto.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas para sustentar las alegaciones en su contra.
The standard at this stage is very low.
El estándar en esta etapa es muy bajo.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred.
Para que un juez determine si un caso procede en esta etapa, solamente tiene que determinar que existe la posibilidad de que el delito fue cometido.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Cada uno de ustedes tiene la habilidad de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, usted debe hablar con su abogado primero si usted no está seguro si es apropiado renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si usted paga su fianza, su audiencia preliminar se cancela automáticamente.
You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date.
Usted va a recibir un citatorio a la dirección que usted dé de cuándo va a ser su próxima corte.
Finally, I need everyone to raise your right hand, please.
Y finalmente, yo necesito que cada uno de ustedes levante su mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
¿Jura usted y afirma que cualquier declaración que usted dé durante este proceso va a ser la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad? ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Okay, let's start with Mr. Rios, and then we'll switch over to the ladies' side for Ms. Rosales Perez. Mr. Rios, sir, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor Ríos, ¿puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
Sir, you're charged with one count of hit and run accident and one count of driving a vehicle without a license.
Señora, usted se le acusa de un delito de chocar y darse a la fuga donde hubo un accidente y un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
Sí,
I've set a total bond of $4,000. Do you believe you can pay that bond?
Su fianza total es de $4,000. ¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza?
sí, pues me dijeron que ya pagaron ayer.
Yes, I can. They told me that it was paid yesterday.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 27th at 8:30 in the morning.
Se va a tener una audiencia preliminar fija para el día 27 de julio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Would you like for me to, that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you get a new court date in the mail?
Y esta fecha se cancela tan pronto usted pague su fianza y salga, y usted recibiría un nuevo citatorio por correo.
Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría a usted que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Sí,
Yes.
Are you currently working?
Actualmente está usted trabajando.
sí, estoy trabajando.
Yes, I'm working.
About how much do you make per hour?
Más o menos, ¿cuánto gana usted por hora?
Por hora como 20 la hora.
An hour, about 20.
Okay, you
Per
do
hour?
qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Ok, señor, usted califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Do you have any questions for me?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
Sí, es que como ayer vinieron, ya pagó mi señora y dijo que estaba esperando el papeleo nomás.
Since yesterday they came, my lady paid and she said that she was waiting on the paperwork.
The paperwork will go back today.
Los documentos van a regresar en el día de hoy.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that you understood the proceedings because yesterday you said you did not speak English.
Yo solamente me quería asegurar que usted entendía el proceso, porque en el día de ayer usted dijo que usted no entendía inglés.
Oh, sí, no.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
you're free to go back.
Ok, puede retirarse.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, let's have Ms. Rosales Perez.
Señorita Rosales Pérez.
Ma'am, can you see and understand the interpreter?
Señorita, ¿puede usted ver y entender al intérprete?
Sí,
Yes.
Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of simple battery on a police officer.
Señorita, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de agresión simple a un agente policial.
Deputy, would you turn down the microphone? I mean, I'm sorry, the speaker, we're getting feedback.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's better. You're charged with one count of obstructing an officer
Un cargo de impedir el trabajo de un oficial
and one count of public drunkenness.
y un cargo de estar embriagada en público.
I've set a total bond of $6,000. Do you believe you can pay? Do you believe you can pay that bond?
Su fianza total, yo se la fijé a $6,000. ¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza?
No.
No.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría a usted que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Sí,
Yes.
Are you currently working, ma'am?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando, señorita?
sí.
Yes.
About how much do you make per hour?
Más o menos, ¿cuánto gana usted por hora?
Yo gano 500 semanales.
500 semanales, me dijo.
Ujú.
I was making $500 a week.
Okay, you qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Ok, señorita, usted califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que la represente.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 27th at 8:30 in the morning.
Usted va a tener una audiencia preliminar fija para el día 27 de julio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived upon your ability to post a bond, and you will receive a new court date in the mail.
Esta audiencia se cancela tan pronto usted pague su fianza y salga, y usted recibiría un nuevo citatorio por correo.
I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds in Clayton County.
Y yo la voy a exhortar que usted se ponga en contacto con las compañías de fianza que otorgan fianzas en el condado de Clayton.
Tell them your name, your charges, and your bond amount.
Usted le dice su nombre, los cargos y la cantidad de su fianza.
and they will tell you what fee they will charge
y ellos le van a decir cuál sería la tarifa que ellos le cobrarían
to assist you to get out of jail.
para ayudarle a salir de la cárcel.
They will work with you.
Y ellos trabajarían con usted.
They may put you on payment plans.
Puede ser que le hagan condiciones de pago, que la hagan hacer pagos,
Their business model is to help people get out of jail.
pero el trabajo de ellos es ayudar a las personas a salir de la cárcel.
So make that attempt, and I believe you'll be successful in getting yourself out of jail.
O sea que trátelo y yo creo que usted va a tener éxito en poder salir de la cárcel.
Ok.
Any
Okay.
questions?
Gracias.
¿Alguna pregunta?
Sí. Comprobatorio no me pueden dejar salir de acá.
Can I be released on probation?
We're not at that stage yet, ma'am.
Nosotros no estamos en esa etapa todavía, señorita.
Ok.
And if you're unable to post a bond,
Si usted no puede pagar su fianza,
they have what they call jail calendars on every Monday.
ellos tienen lista de causas en los casos que están para las personas que están en la cárcel, y yo creo que lo hacen todos los lunes.
The most serious charge you have right now is simple battery on a police officer.
El cargo más serio que usted tiene en esos momentos es de agresión simple a un oficial.
So I believe that they will work with you as it relates to resolving your case.
Y yo creo que ellos trabajarían con usted cuando tienen que ver con tratar de solucionar su caso.
You should keep in mind that had you not had the simple battery on a police officer charge and the obstruction of an officer charge, your bond would only be $1,000.
Usted tiene que tomar en consideración que si usted no hubiera tenido el cargo de agresión simple a un oficial de policías o de impedir el trabajo de un oficial de policías, su fianza solamente hubiera sido de $1,000.
So I hope you see how sometimes your actions can make a bad situation worse.
Por eso yo quiero que usted vea cómo quizás a veces la forma en la que usted actúa podría empeorar una situación.
So please keep that in mind in the future.
O sea que en un futuro tenga eso presente.
Any other questions, ma'am?
¿Alguna otra pregunta, señorita?
Pues la policía me está poniendo muchas cosas ahí.
The police officer is putting a lot of things there.
Ellos no me dejaron hablar. Yo no los agredí ni
Ay.
falté respeto.
They didn't let me talk. I didn't assault them, and I didn't disrespect them.
So that's why I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. You need to tell the lawyer those things so the lawyer can defend you.
Por eso fue que yo le nombré un abogado para que les represente. Usted tiene que decirle todo eso al abogado para que el abogado la pueda defender.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Ok, señorita, puede retirarse.
Thank you, Ms. Bermudez.
You are welcome, Judge. You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Okay, let's start with Ms. Bacon. Ms. Bacon, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of simple assault. I've set a total bond of $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You have a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Quentin Zachary. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
How much do you make per hour?
25.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
I just want to understand, like, if the victim is my fiance and we live together, how do we do that?
Until this stay away provision is modified or removed, you have to stay away from him. The reason we place a stay away provision on cases like this is we don't know the totality of what happened. So you're going to get a bond, you're going to get out. We don't want whatever disagreement or argument led to your appearing before me today to get rekindled this evening. So we place a stay away provision on the person that I have the ability to do that to, which is you. So if Mr. Zachary is not afraid of you, he can contact the Solicitor General's office and he can say, look, this was an argument that got out of hand. I'm not afraid of her. I want this condition to be lifted. Or he could say, hey, I'm afraid of her. She threatened me. Whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
So if he says that, they will look into it. And if they agree with him, they will come to a judge and say, let's modify this bond condition. Judge will sign it. We don't care. But if he says, look, you just don't know. She threatened me to kill me every night. Keep her away from me. Then this condition will stay in place.
I got you.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, ma'am, is there anything else?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am. You're free to go back. Is it Boompinder?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of battery, 1 count of criminal trespass, 1 count of terroristic threats or act. The bond is going to be set at $13,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to find that you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Is it Gwalty?
Yes, I drink about this.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of aggravated stalking and 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. I am not allowed to write a bond on an aggravated stalking charge at this stage. So bond is going to be denied. And because bond is being denied on the aggravated stalking, I'm denying bond on the criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree and allowing the next judge to set bond on both of these. There will be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Devarius Lawrence. Do you understand that?
Yes, may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I've been in Miami this whole time and I don't know anything about this charge or anything. I got picked up in Miami and I've been in Miami ever since September of last month. And I have a 1 year a kid, 1 child, and she's with a family friend. And I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to just stay in here and just lose everything behind some hearsay. Like, I don't know where these charges came from.
So this warrant was obtained on November 21st of 2020. And the allegation in the 2 warrants is that there is a temporary protective order put in place on August 14th of 2020. And the allegation is that that you were served on August 14th of 2020.
And I haven't been to him since I got out of jail the last time. I haven't seen or heard of him. And this is the first time I'm hearing about this.
So, ma'am, I can tell you the allegations, and it's perfectly reasonable for you to ask, what is this about? So just give me a second and I'll explain it to you. Okay? So the allegation is that there were text messages received that you were coming over and that you drove a silver Jetta to 210 Monterey Circle in Jonesboro, and that there are photographs of you at that location on that date. And the allegation is that on that date, you use some unknown tool to put a scratch on the quarter panel of a 2020 black GMC Acadia. So the allegation appears to be that this person sought a temporary protective order, that you were served with the temporary protective order, and after being served with the temporary protective order, that you made contact with him and that you drove an alleged silver Jetta over to that location.
That's what I'm saying. I've been in Miami ever since September, so I don't know how.
Ma'am,
Sorry.
I was not there, okay? Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to represent you? Looks like you make maybe a little too much to have a lawyer appointed. The reason that I'm telling you this information, ma'am, is so you can defend yourself, right? So you know that the dates that this allegation is alleged to have occurred, this incident is alleged to have occurred. So if you have an alibi, you know that you have to get your information together to show that this could not have happened. And if this person has made a false statement and this person is lying upon you to get you arrested, then that person is going to go to jail. Okay? But we can't have a trial on this at this moment because I don't know anything about this other than what I'm reading to you. And the reason I'm reading that to you is so that you know right now what you need to start putting together to defend yourself.
Like, that's why I'm not understanding, like, how am I winning another state with charges and then I don't even get a bond or a chance at, like,
Okay, ma'am,
I don't understand this.
if you're charged with murder, I cannot set a bond for you, whether you committed the murder or not. If you're charged with aggravated stalking, I cannot set a bond for you, whether you did it or not. That's why you're being held. So again, I'm not fighting you about this. I'm trying to give you as much information as you can to move forward to defend yourself. But you're telling me that you were in Miami. It's like you're telling me the sky is blue or that grass is green. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay?
Pick up in Miami. But how do I, the lawyer, how soon will the court date be? Or, because all my evidence that where I am, like, I have videos and pictures in my phone and I don't have any of my property in this state. I don't live here.
Okay, so that's you interrupted me before I could get to that point. So let me tell you, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 2nd. Your bond hearing date is going to be set for August 6th. Now, ma'am, I can appoint a lawyer to represent you, or you can hire a lawyer to represent you. Based upon what you're telling me is that you were in another state, the quickest way for you to get out of jail is to hire a lawyer to give this information to the lawyer, so the lawyer can set a meeting with the district attorney's office and share this information. Again, if this person is lying upon you and this so is easily shown, police officers don't like being lied to. I've signed many false statement warrants where someone went to a police officer and said one thing, and then they investigated and it turned out to be something different. They don't like being lied to. They got other things to do. So for you to get yourself out of jail as quickly as possible, your best bet is to hire a lawyer. If you want me to appoint a lawyer, I will appoint a lawyer. But you know the dates, you know the allegation, correct?
Yes.
And you know that you're going to have to get the information to show that you were someplace else, right?
Yes, it's in my phone.
Okay.
I don't have.
Do you want me to appoint a lawyer?
I'm gonna hire a lawyer.
Okay. Is there anything else, ma'am?
Am I able to get a bond hearing closer to July, because I don't
Okay.
have nobody here, like, I have
Okay, so
losing everything, like.
ma'am, if what you're telling me is true, your lawyer will get these charges dropped before you even need a bond hearing. If what you're telling me is not true, then your lawyer may be able to work out some kind of consent bond situation. Aggravated stalking cases are difficult to have bonds set because aggravated stalking involves your being told by a judge to stay away from a certain place or a certain location. And if there's evidence that you went to that location or contacted that person when a judge told you not to, a judge is not going to be willing to set a bond for you. Because in that scenario, you're showing the judge that you don't care what the judge has to say. And the judge is not going to allow that to just go by. So I'm just being as honest with you as I can.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am? Well, first, you said you're going to hire a lawyer.
Yes, lawyer.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am. Miss Matt,
Yes, sir.
okay, ma'am.
Are you?
Ma'am, you've been charged with a number of serious offenses. I have set bond on these offenses, but the bonds are going to be elevated. You've been charged with 2 counts of battery, 2 counts of terroristic threats or acts, 2 counts of obstructing or hindering an emergency phone call, and 1 count of aggravated assault by strangulation. You're going to have a total bond set at $39,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Jordan Taylor. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 28th. I'm sorry. It's going to be set for August 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify? Well, you make a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm making enough money.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you're going to have to hire your own lawyer. Do you have any questions for me?
No, but I appreciate you.
Okay, ma'am. You're
You're
free to
honor.
go.
That's it?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a blessed day. Thank you.
Ms. Moore? Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery, 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and 1 count of public drunkenness. Your bond is going to be set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from DeAndre Brown. Do you understand that? Okay. Your preliminary hearing date of August 3rd is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, free to go back.
Okay.
Are you Miss Widener?
Wider.
I'm sorry, you said Widener?
Wider.
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 Sorry, ma'am. You're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent you're a less safe driver, 1 count of impeding traffic, and 1 count of having your license not on person. Your total bond is going to be set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes. Quick question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, if I decide to hire, I still have the option to hire a lawyer too, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, do I have the option to bond myself out?
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions? Okay, ma'am. You're free to go back. Uh,
That concludes the female side, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're free. Have a good day.
You too, Your Honor.
Okay, are you Mr. Beebe?
No, sir. This is Mr. Bacon.
Mr.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no.
I got mixed up. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Are you Mr. Beebe?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Beebe, sir, you're charged with 4 driving-related offenses and 1 count of obstructing an officer. Your total bond is going to be set at $4,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your yeah,
I'm talking first thing and asking you every question.
you'll be able to ask whatever question at the end, okay? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, I interrupted you. What was your question?
You said obstruction of an object. I only got locked up for driving without license.
So the charges are obstructing an officer, driving without a license, driving without insurance, failing to stop or yield at a stop sign, and having a invalid or expired tag. So let me tell you the allegation as it relates to the obstruction is that they're saying that after the vehicle was stopped, that you attempted to run, that you jumped out the car and tried to flee. That's the allegation behind the basis of the obstruction charge. So all of these are mere allegations. The state is going to have to prove each count beyond a reasonable doubt. So that's why we appoint lawyers as quickly as possible, so you can get in the investigation and start defending yourself. Okay?
I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Like when I be getting out of here?
So I prepared the paperwork, and when I'm done with this hearing, generally it takes me about 2.5 hours to finish the paperwork, and then I send it over to the sheriff's department, and they start entering everything in. So you'll be released today, but it depends on how long this hearing takes. Okay.
Have a good day.
You too. Have your name, sir? Okay, Mr. Butts, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime. I'm denying bond at this stage because of the allegation of firing a weapon. And I think this is going to have to need a hearing. I'm also going to deny the bond on the possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, just so all of this can be heard at the same time. I'm setting a preliminary hearing date for August 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. I'm setting a bond hearing date for August 6th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. As I indicated before, the discharging of a weapon is something that is serious, in my opinion, because you don't know how many children or whatever who get harmed when people are discharging weapons. Your lawyer can look into this, and if there's something more, because your brother was the alleged victim, correct? So I don't know if this is something that's going to be pursued further or not. But in the future, you get into a dispute with anybody, don't discharge weapons. Okay? All right, sir, you're free to go back. I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Drop the charges, will I be able to be released?
So most likely, yes. And I say most likely because at this point, the state of Georgia picks up the charge, and they may decide that the state may decide, hey, we have enough evidence, but we don't need the alleged victim. Or they may say, well, we can't make the case without the alleged victim. So that's why you need to speak to your lawyer about this, because I don't know.
Are you saying, yes, they can drop the charges and release me as my brother?
And generally, the short answer is yes. And that generally depends upon the strength, the relative strength of their evidence. And so that's why I tell people don't talk about the facts of their case, because they'll come on here saying, well, I shot the gun at him, but it was because he made me mad. Okay, well, now they don't need the victim, right? So I don't know any of that stuff. Your lawyer will, okay?
And you said my dates for my hearings are what?
They're set for August 2nd and August 6th. But again, based upon the relative strength of the evidence, this is something that may get worked out way before that date. I know because of the COVID related stuff, the district attorney's office, they're working to try to deal with cases far in advance and not wait until court dates.
Okay.
All right, free to go back. Are you Mr. Darko Bundy? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir, you're charged one count of simple battery, one count of criminal trespass. I've set a total bond of $6,000. You believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Philip Koise Darko, which I understand is your father, correct?
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Trespassing? I live there, so how was I trespassing?
So the criminal trespass is based upon, in Georgia, it can be committed in one of two ways. One is you're at a place that we're told not to be or you're not supposed to be. The other thing is, other ways that you cause damage to someone's property. In this case, they're alleging that you caused damage to a garage door. And that's where the criminal trespass comes in.
All right, and how much is the bond again?
$6,000.
All right.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
Great, go ahead.
You're Mr. Grant? Sir, you're charged with one count of improper lane change, one count of driving a vehicle without a valid license. Your total bond is set at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Harley? Mr. Harley, sir, you're charged with one count of battery, one count of theft by taking. Total bond is going to be set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Ashley Mitchell. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Harris? Okay, Mr. Harris, sir, you're charged with one count of the charge is giving an inmate essentially drugs, and the allegation is that drugs were found in your locker. I'm setting a bond of $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 2nd because this is a felony offense. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify for the appointment of lawyer, and you may need to speak to your lawyer about this because this may not be a charge that can go through all the way to prosecution. So speak to your lawyer about the facts of this case, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're free to go back. Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hamilton, sir, you're charged with following too close, driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent that it made you a less safe driver, and improper lane change. You're gonna have a total bond set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Hamilton. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Kiska? Or Kasaka?
He's in the hospital, sir.
Okay. Hold on, let me make a notation about that. Mr. Lyons.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lyons, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent it made you a less safe driver, 1 count of improper lane change, and 1 count of driving a vehicle on a suspended or revoked license. Your total bond is going to be set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Lyons. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir? I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Murchison?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery, 1 count of disorderly conduct, and 1 count of terroristic threats or acts. Your total bond is going to be set at $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're on the edge, but I'm going to find that you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Rouse?
Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Rouse?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license and 1 count of driving a vehicle with an expired or invalid tag. Your total bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, I'm going to find that you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Is Mr. White still there? Are you Mr. White? Sir, you're charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license and 1 count of failing to yield the right of way on a left turn. You're gonna have a total bond set at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for August 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. You do qualify, Mr. White. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
They said something else was paperwork from some other county or something. Would you happen to know anything about that?
Was that you have a hold from another county?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I have anything. The sheriff's department would have access to the most recent and current information. Sometime it'll be listed on your GCIC. Huh. I am not, let me see, hold on. Hmm. So I'm not seeing anything, but these are misdemeanor offenses that you have. So I'm assuming that they told you there's a hold for you from another county or warrant, like a failure to appear or something like that.
No, they just said it was a hold from another county. Nobody was never.
Okay. Let me check one more thing. All right. So I'm not seeing your criminal history here, which is not unusual because you're charged with misdemeanor offenses that are immediately bondable in this county. What I would suggest you do. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bernie. You have a hold out of Newton County for failure to appear.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, sir?
Yeah, so once I bond out here, what happens then, if you don't mind telling me?
Well, what will most likely happen is that you will get sent to Newton County. If you have a lawyer that is representing you on the Newton County matter, you should contact that lawyer because failure to appears, especially in this time of the COVID virus, are things that can oftentimes get reset, which means that they'll say, okay, based upon the word of lawyer Gardner, attorney Gardner, we're going to place his client on the next calendar and we're going to lift the hold. And then that means you bond out here and you walk out the door. If you don't have a lawyer representing you in Newton County, most likely you're gonna sit until Newton County comes to get you. Good thing is that it's not that far away, so they may just make a drive up because they were coming to Clayton County anyway, and put you on a bus or car and drive you back down to Newton County. But if you want to get this resolved, failure to appear can happen in a number of different ways, and I don't know the charge, but if you don't want to sit here in Clayton County Jail, you need to take proactive measures to deal with whatever it is in Newton County. Okay? Anything else, sir? All right, you're free to go back. Okay, so that is all I have for today.
All right, Mr.
I'm sorry.
Walker.
Walker. Oh, I have him as OTB.
Oh, really? Okay.
So what that means, Mr. Walker, is that someone has already posted your bond.
Yes.
Okay, then you're gonna be, when you go back, they're probably gonna be knocking on the door telling you to pack your stuff.
So the thing with that was when the bond was posted yesterday around 5 p.m., I was told that I had a hold in Riverdale.
Ah, okay. So what that means is you're probably in the same boat as Mr. White, is that if it's Riverdale, it's probably a failure to appear, like you got a ticket or something you didn't show up on. So what you need to understand is that as long as there's a failure to appear, or we call it a hold, that's showing, Clayton County is going to hold you until Riverdale say release you, or until Riverdale comes and gets you. So if you know what it is, a lot of times if it's a city ticket or something, all they want is you to pay whatever fine that is there, and they'll take care of it. Okay?
So I need to contact Riverdale.
Yes, sir. And so I'm guessing that you probably know what it's about. If city charges are basically tickets, or they're, loitering or
Speeding.
okay.
Speeding. I missed the court date.
So you should have whomever made the arrangements here to just go take care of that ticket in Riverdale.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go back, sir. Anyone else?
He has another question, sir. My mom's supposed to come up here and set my mind at 11, but you said I have to wait 2 hours, right after your hearing, and then.
So tell me your name again, sir.
Ronald Antonio Beebe.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Beebe, all of your charges were immediately bondable except for the obstruction charge. So the way that it works is I do the paperwork and I send it back. So as you saw me moving around, writing stuff down, I'm putting in bond orders for everyone as I go through it. I have to break that stuff down and scan it in and send it back to the sheriff's department. And then they start inputting the information. So they have to wait on me for the people that I'm setting bonds for. So that's why I said that the length of the time of the hearing is generally the time that you're sitting. So soon as I turn this camera off, I get started on doing the paperwork so that it goes back. And it generally takes me about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. I can do it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
That's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.